In today's episode, we're not talking about rigid resolutions that fade by February. Instead, we'll explore gentle, thoughtful ways to align your actions with your values, setting intentions that inspire growth, connection, and possibility. So, grab a cup of something warm or take this episode with you on a walk. Together, we'll reflect on our why, explore simple ways to set intentions, and take one small step toward creating a meaningful and intentional 2025. Let's go. Hi, I'm Tara, and this is the Autism Little Learners podcast. I am a speech-language pathologist with a twist. I've run my own communication-based classroom for over 2 decades, and I'm so excited to share actionable tips and strategies for supporting young autistic children. My goal is to help you feel more confident and successful when teaching your autistic child or students at the early childhood level. If you are ready to learn some tried and true strategies that really work, this is the podcast for you. Let's get started. Hey there, and welcome back to the Autism Little Learners podcast. I'm Tara Phillips, a licensed speech-language pathologist, and today is the last day of 2024. Can you believe it? It's December 31st, a day that often brings a mix of emotions. Some of us feel reflective, others feel excited about the possibilities of a fresh start, and maybe some of us are just grateful we made it through. This episode is all about looking ahead and setting meaningful intentions for the new year. Now, we're not talking about resolutions that make you feel guilty about breaking by February. Instead, we'll focus on simple, thoughtful ways to set the tone for 2025 and create positive momentum. We'll also do a quick activity together, so grab a pen and paper, or just keep your phone handy if you're out for a walk or relaxing at home. Before we dive into setting intentions, I want to start with a quote that inspires me every year around this time. It's a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., and it goes like this: "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step." This quote reminds me that progress isn't about knowing exactly where we're headed or having everything figured out. It's about moving forward one step at a time. And that's what setting intentions is all about. It's a way to guide yourself gently with grace rather than demanding perfection. There's a difference between setting resolutions and setting intentions. Resolutions often feel rigid and tied to really specific outcomes, while intentions are more about aligning your actions with your values and priorities. Research supports this approach. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who focus on process-oriented goals, like fostering a sense of connection or building consistency in routines, are more likely to stick with their plans and feel a sense of accomplishment. As educators, parents, or caregivers, this can be especially powerful. Setting intentions helps us stay grounded and focused, even when the day-to-day challenges feel overwhelming. As we think about intentions, it's helpful to start by reflecting on your why. Why do you do the work you do? What motivates you to show up every day, even on the hard ones? For me, it's always been about connection. I believe that every child deserves to feel seen, understood, and celebrated for who they are. That why has guided me throughout my entire journey, from my early days as an SLP to creating Autism Little Learners. Take a moment to think about your why. If you want, pause this episode and jot it down. It's such a powerful anchor to return to when things get tough. Now, let's talk about setting intentions for 2025. I want to share 3 areas to focus on that can guide your work and your life in the upcoming year. Number 1 is connection. Another one of my favorite quotes is by Brené Brown. "Connection is why we're here. It's what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives." In the classroom or at home, connection is the foundation for everything we do. This year, you might set an intention to deepen connections with your students, with their families, with your colleagues, or even with yourself. This could mean finding ways to incorporate a child's special interests, you know I'm all about that, into your teaching, or simply being more present during those small, quiet moments. The second one is flexibility. If the last few years have taught us anything, it's that flexibility is essential. An intention to embrace flexibility might involve being open to new strategies, letting go of perfectionism, or allowing yourself grace when things don't go as planned. A teacher once told me that her mantra is, "It doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful." I think that's such a great reminder for all of us. The third area is growth. Finally, consider setting an intention around growth, not just for your students, but for yourself. This might mean learning something new, like a strategy for supporting AAC users, or even taking the time for personal growth, like reading a book that inspires you. Growth does not have to be monumental. It can be as simple as committing to learning from every experience. Let's do a quick activity to help you set your intentions for the year. When you're able, go to www.autismlittlelearners.com/intention and download the Setting Intentions document that I created for you. You will see prompts that will guide you in setting intentions for 2025. Now, I'll talk a little bit about what it is that is on this intentions guide that will help you. The first thing is one word. What is one word that you want to guide you this year? Examples might be patience, joy, balance, kindness, connection. The second prompt is one action. What is one small action you can take consistently to align with that word? For example, if your word is connection, your action might be scheduling 5 minutes of uninterrupted one-on-one time with a student or child each day. And during this time, focus on something the child loves to do. The third prompt is one goal. What is one achievable goal that you want to work towards this year? Make it specific but manageable. For example, introduce AAC modeling during playtime every day. Or try one new sensory support strategy each month. Take a moment to pause this episode if you need to and fill these out. And don't overthink it. Trust your instincts. All right, if you're coming back, how did it feel? Hopefully this exercise gave you a sense of clarity and excitement for the year ahead. If you want, I'd love to hear your one word for 2025. Feel free to message me on Instagram or Facebook or share it in the Visual Supports Facebook group. If you're not in that group yet, you're going to want to be. Click the link in the show notes to join today. As we move into the new year, I'm excited to dive back into the basics with you. In January of 2025, we have episodes on regulation, connection, and routines coming up. These foundational topics are so important for supporting young autistic children, and I cannot wait to explore them together. Here's another quote that I'm going to leave you with. It's from Karen Lamb. "A year from now, you may wish you had started today." Let's start today with small steps, meaningful intentions, and a commitment to showing up for ourselves and the children we care about. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today and throughout this entire year. I'm so grateful for this community and the work that you do every day. I'm wishing you a happy, healthy, and intentional new year. I'll see you in 2025. I'm sending a big virtual hug your way because you just finished another episode of the Autism Little Learners podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. If you have had success with any of the strategies that you learned about in this podcast, I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook at Autism Little Learners. Don't forget to grab your free visual support starter set by going to autismlittlelearners.com/visuals. And always remember to find the good in every day.